Hello, welcome back to the Search for Enlightenment. It's been a while. Apologies for that. I know that I have some folks out there that have been waiting for the next video, and it's been really challenging for me to get it up and get it going, but it's okay. We're here, we're doing it now. But I got some really exciting news at the end of this show, so be sure to stick around for that. I can't wait for that announcement. Okay, so for now, we're going to continue on our search for enlightenment. So let's kind of start with a little bit of a recap. Before, we kind of established already what enlightenment is. And then from there, we moved on to the first part of the journey, which has to do with the body. And of course, there's three parts. We're going to be touching on the body, the mind, and the spirit. And we're going to be that's the basic preparation in the search for enlightenment. So those are all things that you're going to have to be aware of and very familiar with. So that's where we're starting this. And we're at the body part, which is the easiest. You know, as we progress onward, it becomes increasingly more difficult. So this is the easy part. So if it's hard for a lot of people, you know, this might not be your time to begin the journey, but hopefully it is. I know the people that are here, you want to be here just as I want to be here, teaching you, helping you, and guiding you. So with that said, we did the first part of the body was exercise. And so if you haven't seen all those videos, I'm pretty sure they're on here somewhere. Go check them out. What enlightenment is, and then the exercise video, and that brings us to this video, which is basically the second part of our journey, and that is nutrition. Now, nutrition is a very broad subject, and there's a lot of it entails a lot more than you might think. So there's also different levels of this. You could just kind of jump into wherever you feel comfortable. But speaking about nutrition, for me, nutrition, it used to be, I just thought if you're eating, then you're nourishing your body. And of course, eating is definitely better than starving. I mean, if you have a choice between eating and not eating, I would definitely recommend that you eat. But here in America and in most places, we have choices that we could make, and that's what you need to be aware of, is what choices you should make to achieve the result that you want to achieve. Like I said, for me, I just thought eating, you could just eat whatever. You can go to a fast food restaurant and get a cheeseburger and French fries and a Coke. And it's like, well, okay, I ate. Yeah, you ate, and you had basically things from all the food groups, the little food pyramid thing that they teach in school now. You had your whole grains and your protein and your dairy. It's like, what, I didn't understand. What's wrong with this? But there are a lot of things wrong with it. And these are things that you have to understand and know and be aware of. Basically, junk food is junk for a reason. Just as health food is health food for a reason. And you really got to go out and you have to understand and know why junk food is junk and why health food is healthy. Just to give you a small example, for junk food, it's full of sodium and processed cheese and saturated fats and preservatives. If you don't need it, don't eat it. That's what I say. You're always going to look at these packages, and there's stuff on there that these retailers and these businesses are using to prolong the life of their product and to enhance the flavor of their product. but it doesn't do your body any good. So if you want to start eating healthy, if you can't pronounce the word on the package, if you've never heard of it before, I don't think you need it. And if you don't need it, don't eat it. That's why you want to stick with whole foods. Take whole foods, take them home and cook them at home. If you're like not familiar with cooking, or you think you're a bad cook, or you think you don't have the time to cook, you need to make the time to cook. Cooking is a wonderful activity for the whole family. You can get your kids involved, everybody can be involved, and you could be learning about new cooking techniques, you could be learning about the history of certain regions, and everybody gets to contribute and pitch in, and then at the end of it all, you get to eat a wonderful meal. And there is no better way to spend an evening with your family than cooking. So if you can, make it a habit and try to do at least once a week. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your world. It's better than game night for me. I might be biased, I'm a chef, I love to cook, I love to eat, as most people do. I think everybody loves to eat. I don't think there's anybody that really doesn't enjoy good food and good quality time with your family or friends. It's just a wonderful way to connect and to communicate. So definitely get in the habit of doing that. And you can check on my website. I've got recipes. We can communicate on there. If you have any questions about maybe a certain cooking technique or what the best way is for this or that, reach out to me. Let me know. I'd be happy to help, and that's why I'm here. Another thing that you could do to really promote good health in your household is read labels. Read labels and ask questions. You know, when you go to the store, don't be afraid to talk to the butcher and ask where this meat came from. What kind of diet did it consist of? And learn as much as you can about it, and the same with the produce and everything on the jar. Like I said, read what's in it. And if you don't know what it is, you probably don't need it. And if you don't need it, don't eat it. Now, another big thing about understanding nutrition and eating healthy and changing your eating habits is you have to be honest with yourself. And for this, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that for everything that I teach, if you're not ready to be honest with yourself right now, you're never gonna succeed at doing the things that I'm teaching. Because being honest with yourself, it's the quintessential core of everything that I teach, because I teach the truth and we seek the truth. And to do that, you have to be honest with yourself. Now, I know there's all kinds of excuses, and I've heard them all before. Some people are overweight, and you think, oh, it's in my family, it's in my genes, I'm big boned, you know, all these excuses that come up. I've heard them all before, and all that stuff's gotta stop. And besides that, I also know that for some people, it's humiliating. If you're going to admit that you're overweight and that you have a problem, it feels humiliating. You feel humiliated. You know that the people around you, even your family, your friends, everybody's gonna look at you and say, oh yeah, he's admitting that he was wrong or she was wrong. And now we're trying to make it right, whatever. It's just human nature, and it's something that it's part of the price to be paid. If you're going to try to better yourself, there is a bit of humility involved. You have to be able to endure that humility, and you have to be able to accept it. But I can tell you that the greater the battle at the beginning, the greater the reward will be at the end. And stick with me, stick with this. You're not going to be alone. We're going to help you get through it, and you're going to achieve this goal, and you're going to go on to the next goal, and we're going to achieve that goal, and we're just going to keep going all the way to the end. So, you know, it's unfortunately it's just part of the deal. But trust me, you could do it, and you have to do it. Like, you have to make a stand, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to face this thing down and to conquer it. I know it's easy to just go and hide, and it's easy to just say, forget about it, I'm gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna make all these excuses to try to tell myself that it's not a real thing. But you gotta accept the truth, and you gotta be honest with yourself. And then you gotta make those goals, and you gotta just keep hitting the little goals. And then once you hit that goal, you need to push yourself, and you need to keep pushing yourself until you hit your ultimate goal. I know you can do it. I'll be here for you. And so it's time we get started on that. And then when you're making these healthy choices, another thing is, I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, organic food, it's just a fancy title, so they could sell food for it's more expensive, and it doesn't really matter. Nothing's really organic. It's just a lie. It's all BS. And I mean, it does matter, and it matters a lot. And it not only matters for you, and this is another thing that you need to really be aware of, is that it matters to the earth, and it matters to the rest of the world. When you just accept these foods that have pesticides and preservatives and all this like crap that they put in the food and on the food, yeah, everything has traces of this pesticides now, because of these corporations and companies that are just saturating the ground with it and saturating their crops with it, when it does absolutely it's not good for humans to eat. Yet we're eating it because they're putting it on their crops to make more money. And that's not okay. They're destroying the soil, they're destroying the water, and they're destroying the earth and every other creature. I mean, they're trying to kill certain insects and certain bugs, but it doesn't just kill certain bugs and insects, it kills everything, and it works its way up the food chain. So you're polluting every single thing in the environment for what? For money, for profit, and that's not okay. That's not okay. So when you take a stand and you say you're gonna eat organic, you're making a stand against the destruction of the environment, and you're making a stand against unhealthy practices that are destroying your body. You should have a choice in your level of health, and you should have a choice in whether or not you want to partake in the destruction of the environment and the destruction of Earth. And those days are over. It's got to stop. So you can feel good about making those choices, because it's not only affecting you, it's affecting everybody around the planet, and it's affecting the earth. So it's time we make these changes, and we make them now, and we eat respectfully. Not only the quantity of food you eat, but the quality of the food that you eat. All has to be respectful, and you have to be mindful of everything that it affects. The people, the earth, as well as yourself. So I know there's a lot more for us to discuss on this, and that brings me to my next big special announcement that I want to share with you guys. So next month, within a month or two, I'm gonna have my first challenge ready. So I'm gonna have my challenge, I'll put the direction up on my website for it, but it's gonna be an opportunity for us to spend more time together and to go a little bit deeper on all the things that we're discussing, the body, the mind, and the spirit. I'm gonna have it all laid out, and all the teaching stuff will be there, and it will be available for you to check out and to start. And I'll let you know in the next week or two about the actual launch date, because I really want you to be there live when this goes down, so you could follow it each month, each time, and we could really go deeper. Because what we're doing here now is we're just touching on this stuff, but there's levels to it, and we really got to go deep into this and to get a good understanding. And also, this will give me the opportunity to really be there with you, to see where you're at, and also to help you along on your journey. So keep your eyes out for that. I can't wait to get this thing going. And I thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. All right. Thank you.